could join me today. I have been on a safari. I have been hunting for wild plums. Now they call these sand plums here in Oklahoma. And this was really a great experience. I went over past the creek and along the edge, up a little highway from the creek bed. I found all these wild plum trees. And it was just incredible if you think about God's wonderful creation and how that these sand plums, there are still hundreds and hundreds more. But here in this part of the country, just north of Skytook, the mulberries come off first. So that's the first fruit that the animals that God's provided them with food. And then the blackberries, which grow like crazy here. And then these plums, and they come up over several weeks because you have a few that will get ripe and fall off the tree, and then it just keeps coming. And I know for a fact that for at least the last month, because my girls bring home evidence that they've been eating these sand plums. So it's just incredible if you look at all the things that God created out there for the animals and for us to enjoy. So anyway, I collected, and what I'm going to make is sand plum jelly. And this is really neat because sand plums, if you collect some of them, if you look here, you see some of them are real ripe. And some of them I picked off the tree that are just not quite as ripe. And the reason I did that is those have a higher amount of pectin in them, and you don't have to buy a commercial pectin. This will settle up and gel on its own. And the recipe I have for doing sand plum jelly is just really easy. What you will do is, I've washed these, and this is what I'm going to do today. I will just barely cover them with water. Just enough water that I can see the water, but I don't want it overflowing. I just want them, not to scorch on bottom, and then I'm going to boil it. And I will let those boil, and I'll probably stir it to make sure, I don't have to stand there, but I'll stir it to make sure that it doesn't stick. Now, once this is done, you can tell because the juice that will be around these will be real bright red. So I'll let it cool just long enough that I'm able to work with it, and I will strain this through a cotton. Now you can use a jelly cloth, but don't use cheesecloth. The openings are too big and you'll get pulp through it. And all you want is actually the clear fluid. It's going to be a red clear fluid that's going to come through there. And you're going to collect that fluid while this is warm, not hot. And make sure your jars are clean. Now, if you're not going to can it, then you'll need to keep it stored in the refrigerator. This is not going to be a good seal for leaving on the cabinet, but I'll tell you how to do that. Now, once you do this, we pour that pulp through the cotton, and we wring it out real good, and we collect that juice, and it's called plum juice. That juice will mix with, for 1 cup of plum juice, you're going to use 1 cup of sugar and a 3/4 teaspoon of butter. Now the butter is important because it keeps it from sticking to the edge of the pan when you're cooking it. So that's going to be your ratio. So, and the reason I give you a ratio like that rather than saying 4 cups of sugar, 4 cups, is because I don't know how much this is going to make. And this way you can, the ratio is pretty much 1-to-1 sugar and the plum juice, and then you just add the butter. And the butter, just like I said, because you're going to cook this at a real high temperature, you're going to cook it on up there. We're going to cook it, when we start cooking the sugar and the plum juice together and the butter, we're going to get it up to 220 degrees on a candy thermometer. And as soon as we hit 220 degrees, then we're going to scoop it out and put it in our sterile jars. And just go about 1/2 inch from the top. Don't ever go all the way to the top, and then shut your jars down. Now, Like I said, if you're just going to do this step, you can finish it all, let it cool, and then put it in the refrigerator. It will gel on its own. Now, if you want to go one step further, what you do is you get you a vat of boiling water, and about 2/3 high. And if you don't have a canning rack for a hot water bath, you can fold up a terry cloth hand towel and put it in the bottom and get your water boiling. Now, as soon as your water is boiling good, you set your jars in them to let them sterilize. When you bring them out, set them on a towel, and then start pouring, ladling this hot jelly into it. Screw the cap on and put them right back into that boiling water. And the water, when you get all your jars in there, you want the water to come about 1/2 inch to 2 inches over the jars. If it doesn't come that high, then you need to add a little hot water. So I always have a second pot going with hot water boiling so that I'm ready in case I ever have to add the hot water. And you'll do that for about 10 minutes. And then take them out, and I always set them on a terry cloth hand towel and let them cool. And once they're cool, that lid will pull down. Now you can use your jars over and over and over. But the flat lid part, not the ring, the flat lid part will have to be replaced every year. And before I ever use them, I look at my lids and make sure that all the way around it is intact. There's no breaks. Because that break could be a potential opening for air to exchange with bacteria to come in and air to get out. So we want a good tight seal. Set them there. Once they're sealed, they are good to go. This stuff is great. It's I just love when you can go out and just collect something and make something really, really good. This sand plum jelly is out of this world delicious. Do it now, and you have got gifts for whatever occasion. A open house. You could put together a basket with some homemade bread and sand plum jelly, and what a gift. That is great. Well, this is Gear Box Ranch Granny. Remember, pray to your Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless every one of you, and I will see you next week. Be ready for some more sand plum recipes. Bye now.